Because it's hot, you can put it on medium. So what's happened to it? Cold now? I'm hot. I got hot people. I got hot. So it's still on. It's still on. It's on. It's hot out. It's cool in. It's hot.
Okay.
Air conditioning's on.
Siyata Dishmaya. Again, we spoke about it for Thursday. I want to bring another midrash clear. There's 4 reasons that Chazal bring down why the children of Aaron died. 2 more. Oira alochos lefnei Rabbi. They brought in Toires. But the Medrash brings down that they didn't speak to one another. They didn't consult with one another. It's very strange. What do you mean they didn't consult with one another? One with the other. Shnei bnei Aaron, they didn't consult one with another. There's another Medrash that says that they died because of an egel. It says, "U'ba'aroin yisanat Hashem eroid la'ashmido va'yispalel." Hashem wanted to destroy him, and Moshe Rabbeinu prayed to save him. So part of this, the punishment of the Chet HaEgel, is that his 2 of his children died. Half of his children died. The other half stayed alive because the prayer of Moshe Rabbeinu. Really, all 4 children of Aaron HaKohen had to die because of the sin of the Egel. And Moshe Rabbeinu prayed to hell for half.
Maybe it means that they didn't consult each other.
Oh.
Just a Havamina. That they were a little bit impetuous.
Yes.
You know, I mean, they didn't
Yes.
think it out, discuss, what do you think about this, maybe that, could be this, could be that. One just said, well, let's do this, and the other just went along, and vice versa, you know what I mean?
Yes. Some Chazal, Mechilta says, show you malizim achar aktoiras. Shal yodo imeisu nodo vaviu. So the Ktoiras is the reason why the children of Aaron died. One of the reasons they bring down is, I just said before, that they didn't consult one another, one with the other.
Held against them?
Yes. It's very strange. Why? Well, what's wrong? For that they get killed? For not consulting one or the other. And I didn't see the medicine side. But last night, I went to a bar mitzvah and some Rosh Yeshiva spoke and he brought this medrash clear.
Which medrash?
Probably. Medrash Tahuma says, I didn't see it inside. But he brings down that Shaloi, he said Shaloi, Loi Siatsu, they didn't take advice. They didn't consult one another. It's a very big thing. But why? It's a good thing to consult one another. But why? For that, they have to be killed.
Maybe it's an Indian not giving respect.
Oh, that's what I think, John. I'm seeing is all together when we learned about the Das Keni. The Das Keni brought down the posuk, Katoiv Kachoite. And he brought a posuk in Ioiv, Afle Zois, he brought a posuk in Tehillim, Bachur of Ochlo Eish, Ubesulos of Lolom. The young man of the Jewish people, the young boys of the Jewish people got killed, got burned, and his virgins were not praised. So it goes on, the children of Aaron, the Bachur ibn Aaron, why fire ate them? Because the nose were up. the virgins of the Jewish people were not praised for them. There was a lot of beautiful virgins, nice, good virgins, were sitting and stuck and anchored, waiting for them. And they said, "Oh, my uncle, my father's brother is a king, Moshe Rabbeinu. My father's a Kohen Gadol. My other uncle, my mother's brother is a president of the Jewish people, Nachman Aminodov. And then we as Sgane Kahuna, we can't get you to take any woman. Which woman is good for us? You heard of this? This girl not good. This not good. This, that, your nose in the air. I think it's all the Yesod. So we spoke about yesterday. He said, what does it mean? Chazal teaches that they died in many other reasons. There's a lot of reasons Chazal bring down. Acharei, Eizoro, Ktoires, they entered Betumo, etc.
When someone says that, is it that
they didn't consult one another? So we said, really, it's all one Yesod, one foundation, one fundamental point. We know, right, the story of the children around that died is way before the Torah. And in between, we brought in all the laws of kashrus, then we brought in the laws of tzaras of Lashon Hara. Right after Lashon Hara, we brought this halacha that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu after the death of the children of Aaron that they died, don't enter Betumah. So why is consecutive right after tzaras? I said to myself, it's right what the Das Kelim is saying. The Das Kelim has a problem. Okay, they sin for Ktoires, they sin, they entered Betumah, they sinned, they didn't console one another. Why they got burnt? Also, Koirach. I mean, why they got burnt like Korach? They were good people. In fact, they entered the Beis Hamikdash. Also, Titus entered in peace. He went out in peace. The Mata went in peace, went out in peace. Why, when they went out, they got burnt? Why they got burnt? Why they got the punishment of like a choite, like Koirach, that rebel against Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu?
They asked this guy, Titus asked the guy to bring them to Menorah. When he went in, what?
Right.
And when he came out, asked him to come again.
And Lezer Meshisa.
And he go, why didn't he come in? He says he was afraid to go in. And that's how he was afraid to come in.
Right.
And that was and he killed him and he died from that. The Kohen, he was afraid to go with him. He said,
Titus himself was afraid.
No.
He said somebody else.
He was afraid, but also the guy was afraid to go in again.
Right. But he still went in. Titus Sarosha went in.
But the second time.
Yes. Shaila is, what's the common denominator of all that? And my understanding is all the same Yesod. Koirach rebel against Moshe Rabbeinu and Hashem. Okay. So why they died like Koirach? They got burnt. Not only that, even worse than Koirach. Koirach's children did tshuva, they stayed alive as a continuation. And that would make Koirach to be mistaken. Here it says, the Das Kelim Medaika says, Hashem spoke to Moshe after the death of the children of Aaron, when they came close to Hashem and they died. He says after the death. After death means they died. So why says again Vayamusu, that means they got punished and they died with no memory. No children. If somebody dies with no children, it's a very severe punishment, no memory. They got burned like Koirach, even worse than Koirach. They die with no children. It's a very, very severe punishment. So we know that really we have to accumulate all those things together. Not necessarily the arguing. It was also the Cheta'egel problem. There was a Eizoro, the entered Betumah. All those things are true. But the Yesod of all is the gaiva, is what it says in Parshas Metzoyot, Metzoyot. The foundation of Loshonovo, the foundation of Tzaras is Gasus Haruach. It's gaiva. We know the Ramban teaches us in the Agdomo, the Ramban wrote a letter to his son. We have a lot in Sidurim. In Sidurim, you used to have, I don't know if it's still there. The first page of Tefillah used to be, right? Still there, Reb Shleiman? Not anymore. Used to be the letter of the Ramban, maybe the end.
Yes.
The Ramban's letter to his children. Igeres Agro we have, Igeres Ramban. So the Ramban says in his Igeres, the beginning, to the end of the prayer book, we have it. It says you should read it once a week. Whatever you ask Hashem, He will answer you in Hashomayim. But he says, when a person is angry, call me again, shorty boy. When you remove kas, you can have anova. When you have anova, you have yiras Hashem. Eikev anova, yiras Hashem. And he says, one was V'ato bni da'ure. Now my son, you should know and see. Ki hamizgai beliba labriyos. Anyone which has gaiva in his heart on his creatures, umoired b'malchus shamayim. He rebels in the kingdom of heaven. Why? Ki mispairu, he gets praise for himself. Belevush malchus shamayim. With the levush. Levush means with the clothings of the kingdom of heaven, bless his memory. As I said, Shenemar Hashem Malach Yud Lavesh. Hashem is king, and his mightiness, he's wearing it. And he goes on, why a person should have mortiness? Rich, Hashem is doing it. Honor is God. And how can you have gaiva, gasus haruach, bichvoy koinoi? You're taking the honor of your creator to yourself. Only Hashem is the king. Nobody else exists. So anything is Hashem. So how can you take for yourself? And not only that, you become stupid. You lose your wisdom. Hashem makes you high, makes you low. So therefore put yourself always down. It says, I'll tell you how to do down. You have to walk always walk. B'midas hanova means all your words should be, don't speak loud, always speak soft. Your head should be down. Your eyes should look on the ground, and your heart is always above. Don't look on a person when you speak to him. When you speak to someone, don't look in his face. And any man will be bigger than you when you're any man you speak to will be greater than you in your eyes. If he's rich, if he's wise, you need to honor him, like the Torah says. If he's poor, when you're richer than him, or you're more wise than him, think, oh, he doesn't have so much wisdom, Hashem won't judge him. You have more wisdom, more capabilities to do things, Hashem will judge you more. If he sins, he's a shoyeg. You sin, you're amazing, etc., etc. Okay, this is the famous letter of the Ramban. And Chazal teach us that anyone else gaiva is oivid avodah. It's more than malchus shamayim. Hashem is abomination, really. So really, if you look down deep, it's all the same sort of Koirach. Koirach, which rebelled against malchus shamayim, he had gaiva. He wanted to take the kingdom for himself. He didn't look at it as if some shamayim from heaven. There's all a gift from Hashem, really nothing of ourselves. He felt shame that he was shaved. He says, where am I? I'm better, more in family before others, etc. Before other presidents of El Tzafam in New Zealand, etc. So really what happened? Hashem punished them and burnt them down. But the children of Aaron, the Midrash says, that really they were greater of Aaron and Moshe. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says they used to walk behind of Aaron, in front of Aaron. And these to Aaron and Moshe used to say, when those two old people will die, are we going to become the leaders? That's what it says. When those two elderly people die, are we going to be the leaders? But they prepare themselves for leadership. They were big rabbis, big Talmid Chacham, a lot of wisdom. And this is really the message which is spoken about Thursday and today. And this is for us Yeshiva Book. The more you learn Torah, more years, more you learn Torah, you're in a bigger danger. In what way? You have the wisdom to control. You know what to do. But as more you know what to do, more knowledge you have, there's Yetzirah can grab you and says, listen, look at the people around you, they're ignorant, they don't really understand life, they don't understand Hashem. And you have that power, people respect you for that. Yeshiva Bocher, you're a rabbi, you're Rosh Yeshiva, you're Gdolador, you're this and that. You're head of a family, your wife respects you, your children, your neighbors, who knows what. Your Talmidim, students, or even your student. The students in the yeshiva respect you. You focus on learning, many ways of learning. You know how to learn, you have a svara, you have this, that. So then what happens? Taram. The gaive, it says in a Zohar Kodesh, the Nefesh HaChaim brings it down, that Talmidei Chachomim have a bigger test in Lashon Hara. Why? What? Not because of all the laws. They're smart, they're sharp, a lot of wisdom, do the right things. So they look at other people that really with trouble. So they talk bad about them. Have to be very careful. Have to be humble. No, everything is a gift. Every day learning the yeshiva is a gift. Hashem can take a person out of yeshiva in 1 second. The leg hurts, the stomach hurts, the head hurts, this, that, money problems. So if you can slip out of yeshiva very quickly. This house is a gift of yeshiva. Hashem is, it says the reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah. The reward of learning Torah into Amelim B'Torah, Hashem will give you everything that you need in order to continue to be Amelus. The reward of the Torah is to give you the merit to learn more Torah. It's a merit that we can learn Torah. It's a merit you guys are listening here, seeing in the afternoon learning Torah on Friday. It's a merit. You have to have a schus for that. You have to have a schus. It's not you doing it. Okay, you're finding it so you can't do it. But you have to have a schus. It's a gift from Hashem. So Hashem is teaching us by putting the two parshas together that the yesod of all of that, Acharei is the same thing. Is meridim malchus shamayim, rebelling against Hashem, all is rebelliousness. Gaive, Lashon Hara is all meridim malchus shamayim, like Korach. So although Katov Kachoite, he was a sinner in public, and they were not, or tzaddikim. But if you go down deep, as the man, they don't want to marry no one, that gaiva, and now we're eating the Medrash Pliya, and this is for you, Rabbi Yoshua. They didn't consult one another. Everyone is Rosh Hashiva on his own. He knows it all. You know it all? Okay. Fire, no children. Scary. You know it all. Why you don't consult one another? Because I know it all. I know all the answers. It says it in the Mishnah of Avos. Every stage, every 10 years, a person in his life gets to another stage. So it says, Ben Chamishim le'etza. There's Shishim Zikna, there's Seva, there's Gvuros, there's praising Hashem, right? When you're 90, 100, every bottle. The Mishnah says, what happened when you reach the age of 50? What is the wisdom that a person gets in the age of 50? What wisdom he gets if he's the right guy. If he's the wrong guy, he loses. He destroys himself. Is Eitzah. Ben Chamishim, Eitzah. Go and take advice. Here, the two children of Aaron, I don't know how old they were, but if Aaron HaKohen was 80 when they left Mitzrayim, 83, and his children died, I don't know how old was his children. Children maybe was 40, 50 years old. But they didn't take advice one another. Each one was one of us. It's all the same Yesoid. It's the same Yesoid of Gaiva. Bachura Bochlaish. Hashem brought fire to his young men, the best men of all, the children of Aaron, the biggest Talmid Chachamim, to the level they thought they would be the next leaders. Mosa Yamutu Skeni Meilu. Va'anu Nanigat Yisrael, says the Gemara in Sanhedrin. Remember that, Rabbi Yeshua?
Yes. That's positive. That's positive for them.
Their eyes look positive. So those guys are not really functioning properly. The Jewish people need young blood, new, fresh leadership, better. That's what they thought. But down deep, it's the same Yesod. We see the result is they got burned. The result is they have no children. So you have to, and that's what he brings down. Why he didn't have Lama Bachur Bnei Yisrael Lama. Why? ¿Por qué? Bachur Bnei Yisrael Aaron Ochleish. This is I'm reading now the Das King. Lefi Shebesul is no low because they said nobody's enough for us. Eizu Ish Organis Lo. And that's when you get married, no children. Okay, it's all great. But here the punishment didn't come to the wife, it came to them. They died, no children. That's a very big yes. As the bigger Talmid Chacham, this is Musa Shmus for Talmid Chacham. And I can understand why the Goyim, through the last 2,000 years, hate the Jews. Because imagine the Jews, since 3-4 years old, they know how to read, they know how to pray, they know how to learn. They learn Mishnayos by heart, they learn Chumash, Tanakh, they learn Gemara. And now they come into a Goy in the Middle Ages, who knows what, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Not uneducated, doesn't even read and write. And what they felt? They felt those Jews are deceivers, are snipers. They're the worst of the devil. Everything they do, they outsmart us, and they always come to a country to make they grab the wealth of the country and just sweep everything themselves. They work hard. Well, what do they feel? To be sure, a big hatred, because they have kina, they have jealousy. It was a natural thing. How can you have not jealousy?
That's what my mother told me.
The what?
He said, my mother told me they think we grow horns at night and they're jealous of us. She
Right.
went through things like that.
It's true. But that's the true reality. The weak cause, the Gemara says we have to be very careful. It says, Al titro baderech, don't show off. Chazal teaches when a person, Hashem gives him wealth and money and kids and happiness in life and talmidim or wisdom, don't show it off. When you show off, you have kina. And it says 99% of people died of ayin hara, be'erai. Out of 100 people, 99 die of ayin hara. Most people die because of that. There was a rabbi named Rabbi Chaim Falaji. He came to Yerushalayim from Turkey. He was 116 years old when he died. Very old man. But he came to Yerushalayim maybe 89 years old. So he came with a stick and he was walking, bending like he's an old man and nobody should have an eye on him. One time in Yerushalayim, there was this kind of a going down the hill, and some horse and buggy lost. The buggy got cut off from the horse, from the straps of the horse. It was flying down the hill. And Chaim Valaji was crossing the road, and he saw the thing on it. He threw his stick. He started running like a little kid. He said, "What?" He saw that. He thought he barely can move. He shakes. He said that. So the Talmidim told him, "What's going on?" He said, "Yes, I do it for I know. I don't want people to know that I have strength." So he always walked with a cane, with a stick, an old man. When he had strength, he was able to run like a little baby, like a little young man. As I said, this is a true story. It's wrote down. Anyhow, that's really extreme. But the point is, our extreme, not extreme, depends. But the ikir is we have to really, really watch ourselves, not to have gaiva, not to show off, not to cause kina. Hashem should direct us in a proper way, and we must stay in all endeavors. Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos. We're missing two. Rabbi Hanania ben Acharei, רוצה הקדוש ברוך הוא, וזד מצורפי. עיר בהם קרמי שנאמר, אני לא יכול בעצם מה, תקרא קרמי נזכדי ונזכדי, שמי רבו, לא מודי ברוך יחוסי, מיעמיך מלכוסי, חי יכול ויכול וכנחנו בית ישראל, בגולו בזמן קוראים ימרו אומר, שמי רבו, לא אומר, משתמר מספר, מסומר, מסעשה, מסעלו, מסעלם, מסעלו, שמי